Okay, geeks, before I get my run on today, we're going to be talking about Big Red, or AMD, making a comeback. Okay, so AMD back in 2016, they started making some really big changes, which have now led up to 2017. And so I've always been more of an AMD guy ever since I had an AMD dual-core processor. I've always bought desktops and laptops that had AMD in them. And the reason why I went with AMD is primarily because of value. You know, they give pretty much the best value for performance for your money. And with that value, I primarily stuck with AMD versus getting an Intel. But this is where I feel Intel has always had the advantage. And the advantage came in performance. You know, if you compared an AMD processor versus an Intel, you're almost always going to get better performance out of the Intel chipset. And so with that being said, AMD has always been behind the curve. So in 2016, AMD started making changes, and this is where I really feel that AMD is starting to make their comeback. And the first change wasn't anything technical at all. It was their brand new CEO, Dr. Lisa Su, who became CEO in 2014. And the second thing that we probably have to think about is the fact that your Sony PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U, they all run on an AMD CPU/GPU architecture. And under Lisa Su's direction in 2016, we finally got the brand new AMD Polaris GPU architecture. And these GPUs were geared towards more the mid-range to low-end, so everything from the RX 480, 470 down to the 460. And all of these GPUs were highly praised for their performance for price, and I actually got the AMD RX 470 myself. And the GPU releases are their content competition with NVIDIA, and also even some of the integrated motherboards that have a really low-end GPU in there as well. So I think they've definitely had success there. But now comes the really big battle, and that is with Intel directly. With their AMD RYZEN architecture, we finally see CPUs that can actually go toe-to-toe with Intel with their high-end offerings. And with the recent demos, we were able to see the AMD RYZEN compete against a $1,100 Intel CPU, and we're pretty sure it's going to be a lot cheaper than that. And then the second phase of AMD's high-end offerings is their GPUs, with their Vega series, which is meant to go head-to-head with NVIDIA's top-tier 1080 series. Now, we're not sure yet what Intel is going to be bringing with their 7700 series, or NVIDIA is going to be bringing with their next line of high-end GPUs. But what I can definitely say with AMD is that they're making all the right moves in the way that a lot of people, specifically gamers, will appreciate. Now, as long as the developers and architecture support AMD's new architectures, I really see that Big Red is making a comeback. So if you had any thoughts on AMD's new direction or their brand new offerings, be sure to leave it in the comments area below. And as always, if you got a lot of value out of these videos, be sure to leave a like and subscribe.